Good morning. Glad you're here. It's Friday morning, and I want to talk to you guys a little bit about boundaries today. So, I went to a meeting the other night, and we talked about boundaries. And one thing that really struck me was that defining boundaries can be pretty difficult. So, you might hear, "Oh, you need to set up some boundaries." And I started thinking about how would you define your boundaries? So, I think about my home and my neighbors. And so my home has four walls and a roof and a floor, and that space within it is mine. And I really like my neighbors a lot, and I'm happy to share my stuff with them, but I'm not going to expect them to just march on in my door and help themselves to things in my kitchen. Those are my personal boundaries in my home. But if somebody says set up boundaries in your life, that gets complicated. How do you know where to begin with that? So I was just thinking, like, how would you define your personal boundaries? And so I think about, like, what's important to me. And a lot of us don't ever really take time to figure that out. We get sort of carried away with surviving. Have you ever been in that space where you really don't have time to plan? You're really just trying to get through the day. I remember one season in my life when life was so hard and so complicated that I really kind of acknowledged each day, well, I made it through alive today. I didn't even realize how weird that was to think, gosh, I'm in so much pain that I'm just celebrating that I didn't hurt myself today or whatever. So, but that can happen when we don't even, there she is, there's my guest. We don't realize how painful things are because we don't take the time to straighten them out. And so I have my soul work journal. I don't know if you guys have gotten an opportunity to download it. It's free, and so if you go to my website, charlottesoul.com, and you download it, I'm going to show you what's inside it. One of the things is these are little daily opportunities to take during the day and kind of figure out different parts of yourself. So if you're familiar with things I talk about, you're familiar with my program of SEEP. It's spiritual, environmental, emotional, and physical. So SEEP. And I believe that when we look at these areas of our life, that we can develop insight into how we're doing. So my goal is that you'll have balance in these four areas of your life, and that if you do have balance in these four areas, that you're really going to have an opportunity to be standing strong when the trials come, and they do come. More and more of my friends are getting diagnosed with cancer. That's a big one. Cancer. Well, are you standing firm on your foundation when that news comes? Or, people's kids are in drugs, or spouses are into pornography, or whatever. These things happen, and we don't plan them, and we can't protect ourselves from them. So we want to make sure we are grounded for them. And so keeping boundaries over these areas of our life is critical. So my spiritual life. Well, my spiritual boundary is I have not had a spiritual boundary, because when I came to the Lord and understood his love for me and forgiveness of my sin and all these wonderful things, I blindly trusted the church. They're my leaders. I'm going to do whatever they say. And I was in marriage that was not safe for me emotionally. And my church leaders said, you need to stay. And so I did what they said. That is not something I'm going to do anymore. That is a boundary that I have. My church will not have that authority over me the way they have in the past. God is going to have the ultimate authority over me. And so I love my church. I love where I am today. I love my pastors, and their leadership, but I am going to have my ultimate authority be God. So that's one of my spiritual boundaries. My environment and boundaries. So in the past, I lived in a home where we had eggshells everywhere. We had an elephant in the living room, but you couldn't see it. And so my goal in that home was to kind of keep things hidden and covered and balanced, and hoping people didn't recognize what was going on. And so that was a very toxic environment. This is my new home where I am right now, and we're not having that here. This is a home where there's communication and things are talked about. We don't have elephants hiding in our living room. We have children. We have 8 children, and they have different parents and different styles and different homes. And so when they come into this home, we have to sort of help them realize in this home we do things the way we do them here, and I protect my environment that way. So that's a boundary I have on my environment. You can't have a really bad day and come in my home and slam doors and yell and bring toxicity into my home. That's my boundary here. That's my environmental boundary. My emotional boundary. So I have been through trauma. I have been abused. I have faced a lot of trauma in my life, and so my emotions need to be tended to. They need to be cared about. And so I can't just go on rushing through life like they don't matter. The boundary I have for my emotions is stopping and caring for them and putting a little boundary around them and saying, no, this is not going well, so I'm going to need to go see my therapist. I need to go to a 12-step meeting, whatever it is. I am having a boundary around my emotions, because if I don't, they're going to spill out and they're going to affect other people, and that's not fair. And my physical health. If I'm letting myself go physically, then I'm not caring for the vessel that God put here. My pastor, Reverend Ronnie Henry, says frequently that God created my soul and then a body to put it in. And I can be so critical of my body, of, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that. And he reminds me in church all the time that God designed this body for this purpose. And so it helps me to kind of appreciate it. So please download my soul work journal at charlottesoul.com. And coaching. Coaching is what I'm here for. I would love to meet with you for a free 30-minute coaching session to see how we connect. So coaching is not counseling, it is not consulting, but it is a means of helping you discover areas of your life where you want some structure, where you want some thought and some change. You want to get from A to B. It's nothing in the past. It's really helping you move into your future. I hope you have a great weekend. Take care of yourself. Love you guys. Bye.